This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the VP of Exploration and Development at Golden Arrow Resources, Mr. Brian McEwen. Brian, how are you?
I'm doing well, Gerardo. How are you?
I am well. It's been a bit since you and I chatted. We talked about it off air briefly. And before we get into how exciting the gold price near 2,000 is and silver near $30, I have to ask you, you're trading at a discount to cash and equivalents. Am I reading that wrong? Is that accurate?
No, that's accurate. It is accurate. It should be a great buying opportunity.
And again, just to be clear, you have 148 million fully diluted shares. I believe approximately 28 to 29 million of those are at the 37-cent and 55-cent price level. But even taking those into account, your shares are currently trading at around the 20-cent level. Is that accurate?
They're trading, I think, exactly 20 cents right now. I have to trust your numbers. I don't have them in front of me.
Okay. And that's fine. That's about where it's at, 20 cents, 20 and a half cents. But again, can you provide everybody just a quick snapshot of the cash and equivalents that you have in the treasury? And then let's talk about the projects, because, you have a team that's been able to monetize projects in the past. You guys are experts in the regions that you're working in, and we'll get into some of the projects that you've picked up and some of the news flow that people can expect. But walk me through the cash and equivalents part of it, because I think, again, in this market, it's an absolute bargain.
Yeah, I mean, things worked out very well for us when we sold our percentage ownership in Puna operations. The remaining 25% we had in our project with Chinchillas and Perquitas, Puna operations. And we sold that, I can't remember when, a ways back, and a certain amount of that came with, we had 1 million shares of SSR mining, and there was some cash that came with it. And that was done at, I believe, around $20 a share. I don't know the exact number, but it was somewhere in there. And so that ended up being a 20 million cash equivalent. And then Silver Standard, or the SSR mining shares, went on a run, and they're up to trading now in the area of $30. So, I mean, that deal in itself, our cash equivalent went from 20 million to 30 million. We made 10 million in the midst of the pandemic, which was very nice to see. We sold some of those shares. Now I think we're down around 700,000 shares, and we have cash in the bank from some of the shares we'd sold previously. So right now we're sitting in a very enviable position of a junior company to have roughly 29 million. 28 million, whatever the number is, in cash and cash equivalents. It gives us a ability to advance the projects, but we're also out there, looking for something else to invest in.
Let's talk about the regions that you're operating in. You mentioned, the cash position, and you mentioned the fact that you have some very exciting projects and are on the M&A hunt, obviously with some leverage given the strong treasury. Walk me through Paraguay, Argentina, and Chile. How are things in each of those countries as it relates to the projects that you've been able to bring into the company?
Well, our home is in Argentina, and it will remain to be in Argentina. But a couple of years ago, we were feeling with the election that was coming up, and we always felt we were getting this Argentine discount. Not everybody's keen on Argentina, but we still have some good projects. But we thought we should throw the net a little further out, and so we started looking at projects initially in Chile, and then this project came to us from Paraguay, and so we managed to pick up these projects in Chile and Paraguay that are a little earlier stage than what we were in fact looking for, but they've got great potential. In Argentina, we're looking at we've kind of zoned in an area further to the south by near to Santa Cruz, where we have the Cerro Vanguardia area, and using that as a model, we've picked up this big area within Rio Negro, where we've had multi-ounce samples. We've got visible gold showing up. We've got a trenching program and geophysics plan there, and then hope to be drilling at the end of the year when the whole COVID thing kind of slowed us down. We can't travel down in that part of the country now, so we're limited to doing some exploratory work in one of the other provinces. But those are really good projects in Argentina. In Chile, we're filled with a similar kind of story there, where we can't travel to Chile, but we've got Chilean contractors working on a copper project that we picked up while we were looking at some other advanced projects in the region called Rosales. We've got 3 or 4 zones there now, all plus 5% copper, and it's at the surface. It's a project that once we can get in there and drill, I think we could advance that very, very quickly. We picked up another 1,000 hectares on that project. So things are going there. We've got a team working. We can expect news coming out of that. And then in Paraguay, again, we flew all our geophysics equipment into the country, and then it got shut down. So the geophysics stuff is on the ground, ready to go. But what we did do is we managed to get a drill. We started drilling there on Friday, a diamond drill. So we're drilling ahead of what we normally would have done. So it's a little bit more of a wildcat drilling type stuff. But we've got there's over 100 grams per ton in some of the samples we've taken, 30, 40 grams multi-ounce samples. So a lot of high grade, visible gold. Paraguay is a new frontier, and any one of these 3 projects, Geraldo, any one of these 3 countries could be a country maker on its own. And as you mentioned, because of our cash position, we're doing a lot of shopping, kicking a lot of tires. So I think we're in a really, really quite a good position right now.
In Paraguay, where you're drilling now, that's a 500-meter diamond drill program initially, correct?
Yeah, I know it's not an impressive when you talk about an amount, but the deal with in Paraguay is you've got 2 levels of exploration permits, and the first exploration permit is more of a prospecting permit, and you're only allowed to drill 20 meters. So those are 20-meter holes, so they're very shallow holes. The stuff right at the surface. As I mentioned, we would like to do the geophysics before we go after the deep targets. So we've applied for deeper drilling, but this way we are able to start drilling. Get some information out in the market, and try to get on this gold wave.
And again, just to provide context for everyone, you provide good exploration exposure on multiple commodities. Obviously, it's gold, it's silver, and copper, right?
Yes, I mean we're a precious metal based company, but if a good copper project comes along, we're going to go after it.
Excellent.
I know what just happened.
Absolutely. COVID-19 restrictions aside, let's assume and hope that things continue to trend in a better direction and you're able to get back in the field. Can you walk me through what the rest of the year hopefully will look like in terms of prioritizing the next drill program that could be significant? Of course, we're expecting results from the current program, but walk me through what the rest of the year might look like there.
Well, we've actually put together a budget and a plan for exactly that. These because we're in the financial position we are, we've got like full crews, and there's not a favorite son in the group here. We're advancing them all the same, and they all had pretty much the same kind of program where we're doing the surface sampling, the geophysics, and drilling. And we had planned on drilling all of them before the end of the year. The reality is we'll be drilling the ones in Paraguay. Hopefully, we'll get the permission to drill the deeper holes. So we'll continue to drill in Paraguay. It's unlikely that we'll get to drill in Rio Negro from what they're laying out, but we should be able to be doing some trenching and geophysics, and that'll be the same thing in Chile. We may be drilling in Chile. One of the real advantages of working in Chile is they've got a very advanced infrastructure there, and you can get permitting done quickly. There's a lot of equipment around, so we could be drilling in Chile by the end of the year as well.
Well, a lot to like there, Brian. Thank you for the time. I'm looking forward to updates and the rest of the year. I think in the precious metal space and the copper space, it should be exciting. And you have no shortage of potential catalysts. Anything else that you'd like to add to that?
No, I just think that you started this off talking about being undervalued, and we're working to remedy that. I think that once people start catching on and realize that these projects are not all that. I mean, even though they're early, they have the chance to advance quickly. You know, we're dealing with visible gold on both of our gold projects, and you know, better than 5% copper on our copper project. I mean, this is not moose pasture we're talking about. These things could advance quickly.
I encourage everybody to go to goldenarrowresources.com, click on the investor presentation, go to slide 21, pull out a calculator, and just do some basic math on the market cap and the cash and equivalents. And then keep in mind that we are in a precious metals bull market that is just getting going. Brian, thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Aldo. Anytime.